Welcome one and all back to Mortal Kombat 11. Alright, very first video just starting off. Welcome to anyone brand new to the game. I'm going to be going over some basic things for you real quick, and this video is going to primarily be about Lui Kang. So when it comes to tournament variations, that's going to be the main thing that I focus on, because everyone will be able to customize quote-unquote their own character. However, certain characters, when it comes to the tournament side of things, will only have preset moves. To turn those on, you will have to go to the customize section and make sure that your abilities are set correctly. Moving past that though, today I wanted to talk about Lui Kang for how he needs to be played. Lui Kang actually has a plethora amount of options for every single other character that he would ever fight in this game, whether they play zoning, whether they play up close, etc. And I'm going to try to explain to the best of my ability how he's used. I hope you guys all enjoy. I don't care what map it is right now, I'm just going to be talking about the up-close game. Alright, so in this game, Lui Kang, depending on his variation, can kind of play one of two ways. In this variation, where you see the normal Lui Kang, or at least the humanized one I should say, he has access to a low fireball as well as a high fireball, and his flying kick and bicycle kick. Everything that, you know, everyone's very aware of by now. In this variation, depending on who I'm going to be fighting, the reason for this variation would hopefully be to be able to make my opponent come to me, play some counter zoning, and see if they're going to jump. Basically, the point of the low fireball is to see what they're going to do to get around it. A lot of people will eventually start to jump, and your goal is to try to catch them for doing so. If you do catch them correctly doing it, especially with like a back forward 3, or if they're trying to do a parry, something like that, this will actually punish them for it. And a lot of people don't know it, but his back forward 3, if you're looking for it, can actually crushing blow whenever it counters or punishes for maximum range, or if you end up doing an instant air fireball and then comboing off of it afterwards. Let's move on to the more basic side of things though, and that's going to be what exactly is his up close game. Up close, every single Lui Kang out there prior to this video, unless Silver is watching this and he probably just ended up getting out of the session with me, every video that we've seen, you've seen the basic combos of this string launching, and then, you know, follow-up combo of like forward 2, and then staggers into a bicycle kick. Personally, I believe that bicycle kick only needs to be enhanced or meter burned whenever you have 2 bars of meter, because whenever you end up doing another bicycle kick, the next one that's loaded up and ready, crushing blows. A crushing blows whenever you get substantial amount of damage, and I believe it's after 3 enhanced ones if I'm not mistaken. So now it's loaded. The next one that I do would crushing blow, regardless of what it did, like the situation is, and I get an amazing amount of damage for it. Moving back on though to the basics of Lui Kang up close, his entire game plan is to end up actually using his cancels in this variation, where he ends up having a down square, down 1 input where he enters a stance. In this stance, he has a overhead and a low option. Sorry, learning the cancels, still struggling. And off of block strings, he can genuinely continue to combo off of them. So for example, back 2 cancel into the 2 option. That's a little bit too far away there for the spacing. Move to the corner just so that people see that it does combo. There you go. And he can do little mix-ups like this over and over and over. What makes stance canceling so important for Lui Kang is that he enables himself to become safe on things that he normally would not be and can follow up for pressure. So for example, he has a string of just forward X, 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 or forward 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, which looks like this, and full combo launches. However, it's full combo punishable, so just to show you guys the frame data, it is -12 on block. So if you have a attack that's 12 frames or faster, you can punish Lui Kang for any time that he tries to do that attack, or you can always do a throw punish as well if you have a throw that crushing blows. Continuing on from this idea though, is the fact that if I want to, I can use only 2 kicks and end up going into a stance cancel for overhead or low option. For the actual stance cancel, I can end up choosing to go overhead low. This is just the frame data so that people can see it. The overhead option, once I end up inside of the stance, is actually a negative move to where you can punish it. So it's negative 16 on block, but it's an overhead. While the low is only negative 8. So if I actually space this out correctly, my low is actually completely safe on block out of anything that I try to do. So I could do something like this, and that would be a true block string and comboed that would actually have to be blocked. And if it is blocked, I'm at a distance that it's very, 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 very unlikely that my opponent's going to be able to punish me. Just from the distance alone. It's going to be very difficult for anyone in the game to do so. Where it starts to end up complementing him is that most Liu Kang players that I've been seeing have been going for unsafe strings or the exact same combo string over and over and over, like forward 4-3 or forward 3 up 3, which is that final kick, but there's a massive gap that can be perfect blocked as well as interrupted and punished for full combo. Instead of having to commit to this string, you can cancel into this and go into the stance. Sorry, struggling, still new to the game. And in the stance, go for overhead or go for the safer option, which is the low, as well as cancel and then go into for even more mix-up. So for example, I can do and that would be a stance cancel that used one of my defensive bars to end up hopefully catching my opponent pressing buttons at the wrong time. Whenever I end up entering this stance, out of pretty much any block string that I do, there is not a big enough gap to actually press a button. Or at least in my opinion, I've tested it with 7-frame normals. 7-frame normals will get blown up, especially for the mid, because the very first hit, even though that the second hit of this is an overhead, the first hit is a mid. There's like an uppercut punch. Whoops. That's a low. That's the overhead. The mid actually will come out first, obviously, and that's kind of going to be his general mix-up. However, in the corner, it leads to some devastating guessing games of when you should let go of block and when you shouldn't. That's pretty much the basis of Liu Kang, and from there, I'll allow people to end up mixing it up on their own for how they want to end up, you know, going on for certain attacks or what they think is plus, negative, etc. After that, I wanted to talk about bicycle kick. So obviously if you do 3 enhanced ones at crushing blows, as I previously explained, you can also end up using a normal one at the end of a combo to try to end up going for a forward 4. Forward 4 is one of his faster normals, and just to show up the frame data, it is currently 9 frames on startup, which means that if I land a bicycle kick, regular bicycle kick is if you look over where it says hit advantage, it says 3. That means I am plus 3 frames on block. I can move 3 frames before my opponent can. So this 9-frame normal is now the equivalent of a 6-frame normal, and it is a combo starting mid that I can use on the ground. So if I do any type of combo, I'm just going to do something basic, into this, that's guaranteed. Even if you have a 6-frame normal, worst case scenario is I might trade with you if you're frame perfect. Might. That's worst case scenario. So long story short, if I've hit you on the ground, you're not technically allowed to push buttons after I've hit you with a bicycle kick. So then the mix-up becomes, well, what are your options? And that's a good question. There is not enough frame advantage to prevent Liu Kang from actually letting you jump. So after a bicycle kick, not in the corner, but even mid-screen, you would be able to technically jump, and this would be a read that Liu Kang has to make. If Liu Kang thinks that you're going to jump, even from, like, say, a full screen range, so for instance, I'm going to set my AI to end up jumping. Whoops. Movement mode, jump. And he reads that you do a jump attack. Now, granted, this would be a jump back. It'd be pretty close to this range. Not after a hit bicycle kick, obviously. After a hit bicycle kick, I'd be close. But I'm saying mid-screen, if he was to jump backwards after a bicycle kick and then jumped backwards, it would be close to, say, about this range-ish. So if he's about this range away, and I make the read that you do the jump back, and I do an anti-air fireball, I can actually end up full combo punishing with this fireball, if I time it right, and get a crushing blow for it for almost 300 damage for you jumping. The other thing that I can do is if he is up close and I do a bicycle kick, I can obviously mash down 2 if he tries to jump forward. The other thing I like to do is his standing 3-4 string. The 3-4 string is an amazing anti-air and can be converted into other things later on, which people, as we figure out the game, will find better optimals and probably better anti-airs as well. These were the main basics that I wanted to show people, though, because in my opinion, the stance itself is the one thing that people are heavily underutilizing. This needs to be utilized way, way, way more, because it can make many of my strings safe on block. So for example, instead of going for forward 3-3-3-3, I can go forward 3-3-3-3, stance cancel, and the last kick that launches will not come out, leaving me into another mix-up. So I can go da-da-da-da, oh whoops, da-da-da, into that stance cancel. And as you saw there, the last kick did not come out, and it allows me to now go for either more mix-up, or from the stance, I can straight up go for overhead low. The low being the safe option. I hope this ends up helping a lot of Lui Kang players out there, because apparently a lot of people think he does not have mix-up options, when in reality, every single time he's up on your face, you're guessing either a 50-50 of low overhead, the low being a safe option completely, a stagger of either 1-2, because that's +3 on block, a stagger after bicycle kick, or a stagger of a possible crushing blow if that counter hits. So these are mainly all of Lui Kang's basic options. Other than that, Lui Kang players, definitely try to see when your opponents try to poke you back with down 1s, down 2s, or advancing normals, because you will be able to parry the normal attacks in this game. The part you need to be careful of for Lui Kang is if you're fighting a character that has a attack that when they're standing they can cancel into, that puts them airborne. So for example, Lui Kang has a instant full screen kick. This actually puts him in the air, so the game recognizes it as an air attack. So just to show you, I'm going to switch to the other variation of Lui Kang, so I'm now the evil one, and I'm going to tell the AI that it needs to end up parrying as a reversal. It needs to parry as a reversal off of blocking a fireball. My kick goes right through the parry because it is considered an airborne attack. The same thing also works with bicycle kick. This will actually straight up punish the opponent for trying to do a parry and counter. So those are just a couple of the options I wanted to show everybody. See and test out what other parries might work the same way, because that would mean that Lui Kang possibly has the ability that off of just seeing a parry being used in front of him, he can instantly get, if this ends up landing, hang on, an instant 156 damage for one bar, or if I have both bars of meter ready. What the? What the? Do a freaking Dragon Parry. Why are you doing a low attack? What the heck is happening? Alright. I've never seen that happen before. Let's try this again. What? Interesting glitch in the system, guys. Well, hope you guys see that happening. But long story short, what I'm trying to get at is that if someone does end up whiffing a parry right in front of Lui Kang's face, I can get an unbreakable amount of damage and load up a possible crushing blow all at once. I hope you guys enjoyed the Lui Kang video. If anyone wants any more information about this, so shout outs to any of the other Lui Kang players out there, being Silver Eye, Zyfox. I'm not sure if anyone else is really looking into using him as their main right now. Please look at this video and please try to initialize using stance cancels, because those will immensely help your game plan as well as mix up options. Hope everyone has a good day.